All right, so y'all wanted to see some shelf cooking inspiration for the new year, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna make lots of things. The first thing I'm gonna do is make some bread because it's really filling. I usually always have everything on hand for this, and I don't have to go to the store and buy any, and the stuff from home is way better for you than the stuff at the store. Okay, so I did just get out my mixer for the bread. I have not done this bread recipe on this channel in a long time. It's really easy. All you're gonna need is some honey. You're gonna need a stick of butter. You're gonna need milk. You're gonna need an egg, some yeast, some like instant yeast, and then flour. This is a new flour that I bought like a month ago with the intention of using for bread. I just haven't gotten around to it. I bought this at H-E-B. It's called King Arthur Baking Company. It's a flour that's good for high rising yeast breads. It's good for bread, pizza crust, rolls, and it's unbleached flour, which is better for you than bleached flour. And you're gonna need bread pans. I'm starting with this because you have to let it rise. So here we go. This bread recipe I have shared, but it was like 2 years ago. I'm still using the same one. I will put the ingredients and instructions in the comments. It's like 6 ingredients, I think, but basically I do all of the wet ingredients first, and then I add in the flour. The flour is pretty much one of the only dry ingredients, but you just mix this together in your mixer. Slowly start adding in the flour. I had to change out my mixer to a hook for bread, but you're just gonna mix this all together until it's a consistency that you want. I ended up adding more flour because mine was too sticky. And if you've ever dealt with bread before, you will know the consistency that you're looking for. Like, see right here, it's way too runny. So I'm adding flour. The recipe calls for 5 to 7 cups, so it's gonna be dependent on your location as well, like how dry it is outside or how humid it is. So I'm gonna switch out to my kneading hook. I believe that's how you say it. I always mess it up, but I'm gonna switch it out because this is gonna help the bread be the correct texture that I'm looking for. And so once you've got it done, you're just gonna mold it into bread shapes and then put it in your pans. I just spray them with non-stick spray, and then I try to let them rise, which you will see in this video that I had an issue with mine rising. So I think my problem is that I need to switch to yeast that isn't active. I mean, not active, instant. I'm gonna try that next time and see if maybe that is my issue. My bread still turned out okay, but mine did not rise like I wanted it to. So now that I have my bread separated, I'm gonna spray my bread pans. I will link these down below. These are actual like loaf pans, not like dessert bread pans. These are like long and skinny pans that you can make bread in and use for like actual loaf of breads for sandwiches. I'm gonna start making some oatmeal raisin cookies. I have this in the pantry. It says you just need an egg and 6 tablespoons of butter. Okay, so for supper tonight, I'm gonna use those 5 potatoes and I'm going to do scalloped potatoes, I think, just a little different than mashed potatoes. Hi, Van. I had 2 pounds of ground beef in the freezer. I took them out at lunch. We are going to make ground beef, like mini ground beef, not ground beef, meatloafs, mini meatloafs. We're gonna do that. And then last night I made green beans from our garden and like hardly anybody ate them. So we're gonna eat those tonight. Hopefully my bread turns out okay. My kids love the bread, but for the meatloaf, it's really simple and easy. I kind of just make it up. It's ground beef, an egg to help hold it together. I use panko breadcrumbs and then I just season it myself. If I have a Lipton onion soup mix, that's what I will use. You can really just throw together any type of seasoning, but I've never done the mini one, so we are gonna try that tonight. Hopefully it turns out good. And then for the topping, I just kind of do like my own like mustard, ketchup, Worcestershire, like brown sugar mixture. Okay, so problem, my bread won't rise. The last time I made bread, I thought it was just like a fluke. It's happening again. So, nothing's expired, the yeast is not expired, the flour is not expired, like, I don't know why it won't rise. It's been like 2 hours. Do I just need to wait longer? Somebody help me. I have a bunch of potatoes and I cut them into thin slices. We're gonna do scalloped potatoes. Literally all I do, guys, is I go to Pinterest and I type in whatever I think I'm looking for. And so I found this one for easy scalloped potatoes and I have pretty much everything. You just need butter, onion, garlic, flour, milk, chicken broth, salt, pepper, potatoes, salt, like that's it. So we're gonna do this. So all I did was mix these ingredients. I will link it down below, but it was so easy. I just did chicken bouillon, water, milk, garlic, salt and pepper. And I just got this in a pan and warmed it up, kind of molded it together. And then I poured this on top of my potatoes in a casserole dish and I cooked it in the oven. And then I put some foil on it at the end with some cheese, and these were delicious. Oh my goodness, my husband was like, Abby, you've got to make these more often. And I loved it because this meal was so cheap. If you have potatoes, you probably have everything else on hand. So now I'm going to do the meatloaf. And I'm just doing 2 pounds of ground beef, panko breadcrumbs, an egg, and then this garlic lovers seasoning, and then I'm going to mix it together into my loaf. And y'all, I totally forgot to do mini ones. I forgot to get my pan out, so I'm so sorry. I just did a loaf. But you would just do the same thing and then put them in a muffin pan at the end, put the sauce on top, essentially. So I am going to try that one day. I just can't believe that I forgot to do it.
What's it like to hold his hand when he tells you that you are all he wants? And it's midnight, oh, I'm thinking about him. I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name, and I'm running out of time. I wish he felt the same, and I'm acting stupid like every day. Don't know what to do or what I should say, 'cause I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name. I wanna hold his hand, 'cause I can't stop thinking about him. And would he understand if I told him how I feel about him? Oh, 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 oh. I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name, and I'm running out of time. I wish he felt the same, and I'm acting stupid like every day. Don't know what to do or what I should say, 'cause I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name. He doesn't know my name.
Okay, so the next thing I'm going to make are pig-in-a blankets for breakfast. This is the next day, but I decided to kind of make them fancy. Half of them were going to be for breakfast and half of them were going to be for an appetizer at church, I believe. So you're just going to cut your crescent rolls and wrap these little sausages with them. But my mom taught me that if you take the everything but the bagel seasoning and you just dip them in it before you cook it, it's like this savory, salty little treat, and it was so good. My kids didn't love the seasoning, but I did, and I'm gonna do this every time now. I just thought it added a little twist and kind of made them a little fancy. So I'm just gonna cook these in the oven, and that'll be it.
You're standing by that window, playing your guitar. And if I close my eyes, I can almost hear your song. A picture of you, a picture of you. And I remember every day that I spent with you, the look you had upon your face when I said goodbye. I don't know why I let you go, but I was young and dumb, and all that I have left from that time is a picture of you. I could talk to you for hours and we stay up.
And last but not least is a little dessert. I had everything on hand for this. You're just gonna put crackers. I had an assortment. You're gonna put butter and brown sugar, foil it, put it on top. Then you're gonna put it in the oven for a second. Then you're gonna put chocolate chips on it, put it in the oven for a couple of seconds to melt it, smear it out, You can put nuts on top. I did peppermints because it was around Christmas, but you don't have to. You could do walnuts, you could do pecans, anything you want. Then you're gonna put it in the freezer, and then whenever it's done, you're gonna chop it up and save it. So it turned out really simple and easy, and I had everything on hand. But I hope that y'all liked this video. I tried to share with y'all as much as I could. We did 2 desserts, a snack, and a whole entire meal. I hope that this motivates you to look into your pantry, fridge, or freezer and shelf cook this month to try to save money and start off fresh for the new year with your pantry. I will see y'all in my next video. Thank y'all so much for being here. And if you're new, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe.